You're trying to take Maduro out of office and get control of the largest oil reserve in the world. What should they do about a man lying to the American people, deceiving the members of Congress, prosecuting an unjust war? Is that not only reason to impeach him, but to set down his whole administration? Set down his whole administration. All of them are liars. All of them are murderers. Babylon is fallen. Is fallen. Substitute America for Babylon. She's unraveling. America is falling. Is falling. Why are you falling, America? Because you have become the habitation of devils. I know America's going to war. But it's a war, President Trump, that you can't win. I know you say you got a lot of juice, $750 billion you're giving to the army, but you're only giving them that which is going to get more of them killed. Let me help you to see. You can win, but you can't win being a thug. You're trying to take Maduro out of office and get control of the largest oil reserve in the world. What kind of president calls somebody in the house of another, Guaido, and tells him, you can be the next president? But Maduro was voted in. You say, well, it wasn't a free and fair election. Do you remember Jimmy Carter? He'd been watching elections, over 104 of them. And he said, I'm quoting the former president, he said that the voting in Venezuela is some of the best that he has seen in 104 countries where he has looked at elections. Now, I don't know the truth, but I think Jimmy Carter has no reason to lie on Maduro. But you see, when you're a hustler, when you're a thief, when you want to take the oil, remember how the president, when he was running, he said, let's take the oil in Iraq. Take it. See, but your hands will get chopped off today because you're not the power that you think you are.
Right, guys, welcome back once again to the channel. I hope you are having a great time wherever you are watching this episode from. You know, the attack on Venezuela and the capture of the president of Venezuela, Maduro, was not a coincidence, because some people do or wanted to believe that when Donald Trump was to be elected as the president of the United States, he will be the president of peace, as per what he said when he was campaigning for the presidential seat in America. But now he is already in power. He has started threatening other countries and capturing some of them, including Venezuela. And what is exactly happening in Venezuela right now was predicted by multiple people, including Louis Farrakhan. He predicted that America will seize Venezuela, not because it wants to free the people of Venezuela from the so-called dictator, but it is just because of the Venezuelan oil. And it started some few weeks ago when Donald Trump seized a Venezuelan tanker full of oil. Some few days later, well, he's literally breaking the headlines right now after capturing or seizing the president of Venezuela. And now he has declared that America will run over or will be in control of Venezuela. And this and many things concludes the fact that America and Donald Trump is not after protecting the people of Venezuela, but just as the oil, as per this video suggests. Let's watch it and then we shall be coming back with more commentaries.
I know America's going to war. But it's a war, President Trump, that you can't win. I know you say you got a lot of juice, $750 billion you're giving to the army, but you're only giving them that which is going to get more of them killed. Let me help you to see. You can win, but you can't win being a thug. You're trying to take Maduro out of office and get control of the largest oil reserve in the world. What kind of president calls somebody in the house of another, Guaido, and tells him, you can be the next president? But Maduro was voted in. You say, well, it wasn't a free and fair election. Do you remember Jimmy Carter? He'd been watching elections, over 104 of them. And he said, I'm quoting the former president, he said that the voting in Venezuela is some of the best that he has seen in 104 countries where he has looked at elections. Now, I don't know the truth, but I think Jimmy Carter has no reason to lie on Maduro. But you see, when you're a hustler, when you're a thief, when you want to take the oil, remember how the president, when he was running, he said, let's take the oil in Iraq. Take it. See, but your hands will get chopped off today because you're not the power that you think you are. There's a new sheriff in town. I'm not talking about me. I'm talking about the two that back me. Now look, I think, Mr. President, you would be wise to leave President Maduro alone. Mr. Bolton, the man with the mustache, he's in a press conference with his sheep, and he's talking about sending 5,000 troops to Colombia, but he don't know that he got the notes so that the media could take a picture of it. Now they're trying to overthrow this man, even if it means sending us to war. I respectfully say to the president, I cannot back you if you're going to send American soldiers to war to die because you want that man out of power and you're meddling in the affairs of his country. I don't think no young soldier should go. just say, hell no, I won't go, and adopt the Muslim position. We do not believe that we who declared ourselves to be righteous Muslim should be engaged in wars which take the lives of human beings, especially when we have nothing to gain from it. Unless you give us the necessary territory wherein we'll have something to fight for. But to go and spend our lives so you can use their oil and ruin their country? You got over the banking system. You are telling the banks the man got gold in England. He's asking for them to send some of his gold back so that he can turn that gold to feed his people. President sent word, you don't give him nothing. See, you're gangsters.
Oh my God, Venezuelans are celebrating. It's only leftists and liberals that are upset that Maduro was captured. I would like to kindly jog everyone's memory because I know how forgetful we can be when it comes to history. So the year is 2003 and the US invades Iraq. And Iraqis are celebrating because they hate Saddam Hussein. So they welcome US invasion. They are in the streets celebrating.
People were just pure exhilaration. At that point in time, you think this might just work. And I remember seeing a guy was carrying a huge couch on his back. And he turns and says, "Yay, America."
The US invades Iraq under the pretense that Saddam Hussein is harboring nuclear weapons, which, by the way, they never find. And between the years of 2003 to 2011, America kills over 1 million Iraqi people. The country becomes a failed state. And if you speak to Iraqis today, they will tell you how they have deep resentment towards the United States. The country that they once welcomed becomes the country that they deeply hate and resent, and rightfully so. Soon as the US leaves Iraq, the country then goes into the hands of ISIS, the terrorist organization. You see, it's very easy to start a war. It's very easy to take out a dictator. It's very easy to bring down a regime. These are things that I will never argue that America is not good at. America is great at these things, but it's incredibly difficult to end a war. It's incredibly difficult to establish a new government that brings stability to a nation. To install a new government, to bring stability to a nation, you have to create infrastructure, roads, school, hospitals. That costs money. And America is not in the business of charity, okay? America spent $2.7 trillion in Iraq, US taxpayer dollars. Where did that money go? Private military contractors. So when people are like, Venezuelans are celebrating, why can't you just be happy for them? My response isn't, oh, I must be wrong. My response is, I have seen this before. I don't just remember history. I lived through this history. And you can't say that we as Americans don't get to have an opinion on what happens in Venezuela when it's going to be our tax dollars that goes into creating violence and instability in Venezuela. Just like that $2.7 trillion that went to creating instability in Iraq was US taxpayer dollars. The last thing I want to say is that despite being critical of many different governments, I do not ever call for regime change in Iran, China, Saudi Arabia, Cuba, etc. because I don't have to deal with the consequences of what that would look like. That would be the total collapse of a system. Do you understand what I mean? Industries would collapse, currency would collapse, instability would immediately take over. I don't know how people feel so comfortable talking about regime change. Even if you live in diaspora, you don't have the right to call for regime change. And I wish people would be more sensitive to that.
What a powerful lecture. Now, according to the things that are unfolding right now in the United States, Donald Trump is not who we expected him to be. He told us that he was going to bring peace. He will be the president of peace. But right now, the things that he is doing, well, for Venezuela, let's not be one-sided. Maybe Maduro, I don't know what happens in Venezuela, but I've had a couple of it. Maybe Maduro was a dictator, as per they say. Maybe the people of Venezuela might be celebrating right now because of the fall of Maduro. Maybe Venezuelans think that Donald Trump and America taking over Venezuela will be a win for them, and maybe they feel liberated from a dictator. But guys, if he was really a dictator, there are some legal way. As per Trump said, he is the president of peace. Being the president of peace, he could have done something peaceful. You know, that what really happened in Venezuela was not capture, it was abduction. People like the United States started striking on Venezuelan soil to distract them so that he can capture. That is literally abduction. As per what you've seen, he was blindfolded, handcuffed, and noise cancellation put on his ears so that he can't understand what is literally going around his environment. That's what we call abduction. And according to what we know about peace, that's not peace, that's abduction. And the people of Venezuela might be celebrating, but let me assure you this, guys. Anything that the West does must come with a consequence, and Venezuela will have a price to pay. And for instance, right now, they might feel liberated, or they will be liberated from Maduro. But what will be the price to pay? Of course, Venezuela is the land known by the entire world as the largest oil reserve. It means that America saw an interest on the oil that is literally in Venezuela. And being an interest, they had to look for a loophole to say that we are going to liberate Venezuela by capturing their dictator leader. But in reality, this is just to withdraw or to capture the barrier that was between America and Venezuela's oil. That is why we are seeing Maduro is being captured. Being captured, you know why I'm saying this? It's not like I'm super analyst or something. I'm saying because of the turn of events that are occurring. If he could have captured Maduro and then kept quiet, we could have said, well, Donald Trump has done a very great work. He has freed the people, and his intention was just to liberate the people of Venezuela. But immediately after capturing, and the news were aired that the president of Venezuela had been captured, well, Donald Trump, without any fear of contradiction or international law or whatsoever, he went ahead and confessed that we are taking over Venezuela. We will be in control of Venezuela until another transitional government is in place. And being in control, it means that we, the United States, we are taking over the oil and any other resources that are in America. They are going to provide equipments to drill the oil. Of course, you know it's crude oil, it's raw. So they are going to drill. So this all means that Donald Trump was just doing this to eliminate the barrier that was between him, America, and the Venezuelan oil. And who was between that? Maduro. So the people of Venezuela might think that America has liberated them, might think that they might celebrate, but at the end of the day, there will be consequences to pay, and it will happen exactly the way it happened in Iran. The people of Iran literally celebrated. They literally celebrated after the fall of their leader Saddam Hussein or something, and then few years later, Iran is one of the most chaotic countries that I know. You know, because America put their fingers into their soup, because America involved themselves with the affairs of that country, claiming that they were liberating that country from a dictator, the way they are doing right now in Venezuela. And this might be a repeated history, but in a different country. But those are just our views, guys. No hard feelings. Don't kill the messenger, kill the message. And that is exactly what people predicted, and it's happening before, and it is happening in 2026. So basically, America has just colonized Venezuela in 2026, just as FARRAKHAN predicted. Subscribe and see you in the next video. Tell me what you think in the comments.